Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you are fit and fine. So, we are back with another lecture for SEBI Grade 2020 examination, subject Company Law. Okay. So, the chapter for today is chapter number 12 of the Companies Act, Meetings of Boards of Directors and its Powers. So, this chapter is also very important, very lengthy also. Okay. So, being a lengthy chapter, we have divided this chapter into 2 to 3 videos, and so that we can cover all the important aspects of this chapter. Okay, so this chapter starts with section number 173. So let us now start with the lecture. So important update, as you all know, we are all working from home. So we request you to please be supportive in case of any technical or audio issue faced. Stay home, stay safe, and stay online, guys. We are also running a sale on SEBI Graded 2020 courses. So if you have not purchased the course yet, we are giving a 40% off on SEBI Graded 2020 course. So you can use the coupon code SEBI40 and you can avail the discount. Okay. This sale is valid till 28th June only. So please hurry up. Okay. If you want to boost your preparation, if you want our assistance, you can avail the discount. Okay. Our previous year results. So as you all know, we are all blessed with great results in the past years. So in the BARD graded 2019 examinations, out of the 41 seats, 25 selections were from EduTap. In the BARD grade B 2019 examination, out of 8 seats, 4 selections were from EduTap. RBI grade B 2019 examination, more than 215 of our students have been called for interviews. Okay. In 2018, the BARD graded 2018 examination, 46 seats were there, 26 selections were from EduTap. SEBI graded 2018 examination, 41 selections were from EduTap out of 84 seats. And RBI grade B 2018 examination, 72 selections were from there out from 127 seats from EduTap. Okay, so you can see astonishingly well results have been delivered by EduTap. Okay, the question number 1 for you is: the first board meeting of a company shall be held within dash days of its incorporation. The first board meeting of a company shall be held within dash days of its incorporation. Okay. The options are 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days. So I know that you know the answer for this question, but let us see. Let us understand the concept first. Let us see the reference of the section. Given in section number 173, which discusses about the meetings of board. Section 173 says that every company shall hold the first meeting of the board of directors within 30 days of the date of incorporation. Okay. So every company shall hold the first meeting within 30 days of the date of its incorporation. After the first board meeting is held, okay, after the first board meeting is held, a minimum number of 4 meetings every year shall be held. So first board meeting in 30 days of its incorporation. After that, every year minimum 4 meetings shall be there of the board of directors. Okay, in such a manner that not more than 120 days shall intervene between 2 consecutive meetings of the board. So the difference between 2 consecutive meetings shall not be more than 120 days. The difference between 2 consecutive meetings shall not be more than 120 days. So you have to keep it in mind that when one meeting is held, within the next 120 days, the second meeting shall be held. Okay. So the answer you know now. The question was the first board meeting of the company. So it shall be held within 30 days of the incorporation of the company. Okay. Moving on to the question number 2, guys. Number 2 says the minimum gap between 2 board meetings of an OPC shall be dash days. Now, guys, we are talking about one-person company. Okay, we are talking about one-person company and not a normal company. So, as we all know that there are certain exceptions that are given to one-person company. So, in the case of board meeting also, OPC enjoys certain exceptions. So, the options for the question is 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, or 180 days. So, in the case of board meetings of OPC, okay, the minimum gap. Here we are not talking about the maximum gap. Normal companies we have talked about the maximum gap, but in the case of OPC we are talking about minimum gap. There shall be at least this much gap. Okay. So when I talk about one person company shall hold at least one meeting within every 6 calendar months. Okay. So the exception that one person company enjoys is that it need not hold 4 board meetings every year. It is justified that if it holds one meeting within every 6 calendar months. Okay, for every half year, it shall hold at least one meeting. If one director is there, then nothing mentioned in the section 173 shall apply to them, and it's logical because there is no need of meeting in case of one person company. Okay, so if there is one director, so there is no requirement for meeting. Okay, one person cannot meet himself. But if there are more than one director, then they can comply with the provision of section 173 by having at least one meeting of the board of director in each half of calendar year, and the gap between two meetings is not less than 90 days. Okay, so at least there shall be a gap of 90 days between two meetings. Okay, you got it? That the minimum gap between two board meetings of an OPC shall be 90 days. So the answer here shall be B. Okay, moving on to question. The next question is, the penalty for not giving notice of board meeting to a director chargeable on the consent officer of the company shall be dash rupees. So the officer who is in charge of giving a notice to every director regarding the board meeting, if that person fails to give the notice, okay, then he shall be punishable. The penalty that shall be imposed on him shall be dash rupees. So is it 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, or 25,000 rupees? So this again 173 itself, that if every officer of the company whose duty is to give notice under this section and who fails to do so shall be liable to a penalty of 25,000 rupees. Okay, the penalty here shall be 25,000 rupees. Here shall be D, 25,000. Okay, so I hope you could answer 3 questions till yet. Okay, very easy question, and all the questions were from section 173 only. Okay, so that means that section 173 is very, very important, guys. Okay, so in this particular chapter, there are certain sections from which approximately from each and every section there can be around of 10 to 12 questions can be formed. Okay, so you have to see to it that you have to revise it very properly. Moving on. Question number 4 is, XYZ is a section 8 company. Now what do you mean by section 8 company? Section 8 company means company not for profit organizations. Okay, non-profit organization. State which of the following statement is correct in case of XYZ company. Now you have to tell me that which of the following statement is correct in case of XYZ company. Basically, in case of section 8 company, which of the following statement is true? The first statement is, guys, it shall hold at least one board meeting in every 6 calendar months. Okay. Second is, the maximum gap between two board meetings shall not be more than 120 days. Okay. The third is, the first meeting shall be held within 30 days of incorporation. And the fourth is all of the above. Okay. So there are 4 options. First is that it shall hold at least one board meeting in every 6 calendar months. Second is that the maximum gap between two board meetings shall not be more than 120 days. Third is that the first meeting shall be held within 30 days of incorporation. And fourth is all of the above. Okay, let us see the answer now. So we can even see that section 8 companies enjoy certain exceptions and benefits. So the law says that section 8 companies shall hold at least one meeting within every 6 calendar months, and there is no requirement to conduct first meeting in certain number of days. Okay, so nothing has been mentioned regarding the first board meeting of the section 8 companies. It is only mentioned in section 173 that it shall hold at least one meeting within every 6 calendar months. Similarly, in the case of one person company. Okay, so I hope section 8 companies is now clear to you. Okay, shall be that it shall hold at least one board meeting in every 6 calendar months. This is true. The maximum gap between two board meetings shall not be more than 120 days. This has not been mentioned, so this is false. The first meeting shall be held within 30 days of incorporation. The law is silent regarding the first meeting of the section 8 company, so even this is false. So the answer here shall be A. Okay, moving on to question number 5. Question number 5 says, in normal cases, what is the minimum day notice that must be given for calling a board meeting? So minimum day notice that must be given for calling a board meeting shall be dash. So is it 7 days, 15 days, 21 days, or 30 days, guys? This is for board meeting, okay? We are not talking about general meeting of the company. So do not confuse between general meeting and board meeting. We have talked about general meeting when we were discussing chapter auditors. Okay, so please do not get confused with general meeting and board meeting. There are separate laws for both of them. General meeting is the meeting of shareholders of the company. Board meeting is the meeting of the board of directors of the company. Okay. So the explanation says that a meeting of board of directors shall be called by giving a minimum of 7-day notice. Okay. So before the meeting, at least you shall give 7-day notice for calling the board meeting. The notice must be in writing. You have to give a written notice, not an oral notice, and it must be sent to every director. Not even one director shall be left. To every director at his address registered by hand. By hand delivery you can give, by post you can give, or by electronic means you can give. That simply means that you cannot give it by courier. Okay, you can give it by hand delivery, by post, and by electronic means, but courier is not mentioned here. Okay. Exception. The meeting of the board may be called with a notice lesser than 7 days to transact urgent business, subject to the condition that at least one independent director shall be present at the meeting. So now they are saying that there can be chances when there are urgent requirements. Okay, we have to discuss some urgent businesses. Okay, then you can call the meeting with less than 7-day notice. You can call the meeting with less than 7-day notice, but the condition attached to that is that it should be an urgent business and at least one independent director shall be present at the meeting. At least one independent director shall be present at the meeting. This is a very important condition, guys, that if you have to discuss an urgent business, you can call a meeting with a notice period lesser than 7 days, but in that case, at least one independent director shall be present at the meeting. Okay. Secondly, the point that you have to notice is that here courier is not mentioned. Okay, so the notice can be delivered by hand delivery, post, or by electronic means only, and not by courier. Okay, so you have to see to it. In normal cases means that there are no urgent businesses to transact. The minimum day notice that must be given for calling a board meeting is 7 days. So the answer here shall be A. Okay. Moving on to the last question for the day, guys. Which of the following matters can be discussed through meeting held by audio visual conferencing, considering quorum is not present in the physical meeting? Okay. So which of the following matters can be discussed? Can be discussed through meeting held by audio visual conferencing. Okay. So there are certain exceptions that certain matters cannot be discussed through video conferencing. So I am asking which of the following can be discussed. The options are: first, approval of prospectus of the company; second is approval of financial statements of the company; third is appointment of alternate director of the company; fourth is approval of amalgamation of the company with other company. Okay. So which of the following can be discussed through meeting held by audio visual conferencing, considering quorum is not present in the physical meeting? First, so the following matter shall not be dealt with in any meeting held through video conferencing or other audio visual means. So normally the law says that you can conduct a meeting through audio visual means. Okay, but these particular matters cannot be discussed through that audio visual means. The first is approval of annual financial statements. Second is approval of board report. Third is approval of the prospectus. Fourth is the audit committee meetings for consideration of financial statement, including consolidated financial statement, to be approved by the board. And fifth is the approval of the matters related to amalgamation, merger, demerger, acquisition, and takeover. See, approval of the financial statement, board report, and prospectus. These are very important decisions. So you require physical presence of the directors to discuss such important issues. Second thing is the audit committee meeting regarding consideration of financial statement. Now this meeting is for audit committee. Okay, and they have to discuss the financial statement, including the financial statement of the holding and subsidiary companies. So even that is an important issue. Last is the approval of the matter related to amalgamation, merger, demerger, acquisition, and takeover. So again, this is a very important issue. Okay, so these five are very important issues and they cannot be discussed through video conferencing means. Okay, so they need physical presence of the directors. But if there is quorum presence in a meeting through physical presence of directors, see, I am asking that if any director is attending the meeting through video conferencing in these matters, okay, and the normal quorum that is required for the meeting is not present physically, then you cannot discuss the meeting. Okay, the meeting cannot be conducted. But if normal physical quorum is present, Okay, the minimum number of directors that shall be present, they are present. Other directors, they are present through video conferencing means. Other directors are present through video conferencing means there is no issue. But if the directors are minimum number of directors required to form the quorum, they are not present at the meeting physically, and they are saying that we can attend the meeting audio visual means or by video conferencing, then that is not allowed. Okay, minimum quorum shall be present physically in case of these. Okay, in case of these meetings, minimum quorum shall be present physically, and rest of the director can attend through video conferencing. In normal meetings, even if apart from these, the directors can attend the meeting. The quorum shall be counted for both of them, for video conferencing also and for normal physical presence also. Okay, but for these five cases, the quorum shall be constituted of only the directors who are present physically and not through video conferencing. Okay, I hope you got it. Now, the question was that which of the following matter can be discussed through meeting held by audio visual conferencing, considering quorum is not present in the physical meeting. Now, quorum is not present in the physical meeting, so there are certain matters which cannot be discussed through video conferencing. Okay, so I am asking which can be discussed through video conferencing. Approval of prospectus, no, that cannot be discussed. Approval of financial statement, that cannot be discussed. Appointment of alternate director, that can be discussed because that was not mentioned in the exception list. Approval of amalgamation of the company with other company, okay, that was mentioned in the list, so that cannot be discussed. Okay, so the answer A shall be C, appointment of alternate director. So appointment of alternate director, this matter can be discussed through meeting held by audio visual conferencing. Okay, so I hope you got the answer. So these 6 were the important questions from section 173. Section 173, the first section of the meetings of board of directors and its power. So I hope you could answer them on your own. So do comment in the comment section about your marks, that how many questions you were able to solve with your own knowledge without my explanation. Okay, and if you like the video, do like it, share it and comment on the video. Okay, so that was all the best for the examination. Prepare well. Thank you.